Hi everyone, it is me, Sailor Moon, and it's me, Sailor Mars, or Sailor Red World here, and today we're going to talk about folks who think that we don't know enough about Sailor Moon. Well, it is true that Duane did not get into Sailor Moon has not been in Sailor Moon as long as everyone else has. Everyone else has been in the Sailor Moon as early as between 95 YL, when Sailor Moon's English offshoot, the Deke one, first started in the Setterland and in the 4-1 Reichs. Duane may have seen some of the Sailor Moon show when he was younger on UPN and WB, and later on USA and Cartoon, but didn't fully get into it until 2008 YL, which is sundry-ish years. But he was a fast learner, and he learned everything about Sailor Moon truly fast. But there still are some folks out there who still believe that he doesn't know everything about Sailor Moon, or doesn't know enough. Now, keep in mind that there are folks who have been in the Sailor Moon since between 95 YL. All right, there could be folks who have been in the Sailor Moon longer than that, since Sailor Moon itself, the drawing show, started in between 92 YL in Dawnland, and offshooted for the rest of the world after that. Now, a lot of folks out there would gatekeep him, and they would say, "Oh, well, you don't know as much about Sailor Moon as I do." Well, yeah, stretch him, because he knows as much about Sailor Moon as everyone else does. He's watched all the 4 Deacon Cliverway followings. He's watched the Viz followings. Hell, he's watched mostly all the 4 followings of Hearst and Forever. And as far as the rest of the world goes, we're still yielding for stars. Now, one of the things that a lot of folks like to say is, like to gatekeep him and say that he was besmirching Sailor Moon or shaming Sailor Moon when he offshooted in Ernest P. Worrell as Sailor Earth. The truth is, he was not. He was only doing something that hadn't been done before anyone else. Toei, believe it or not, were Sailor Moon Sailor Stars, the last following of Sailor Moon. There were the Sailor Starlights, Healer, Maker, and Fighter. And in the Toei world, and the Viz world, and even most likely in Deke or Cliverway's world, if they would have gotten the rights to work with it, they were men who had to shapeshift to become women when they fight, to follow the oversight that some folks say Naku Takaguchi came up with, that only girls can be fighters or keepers. Now, if the Sailor Starlights already opened that door, then Sailor Earth, Ernest P. Worrell, or Ernest, and Sailor Sun, Snoop Dogg, or Calvin Kraslor knocked that door open. And at the end of the day, that was what it was about, gatekeeping on him offshooting Ernest as Sailor Earth. Now, as far as him not knowing as much about Sailor Moon that everybody else knows, well, first off, yeah, he does like the Deacon Cloverway Sailor Moon. He likes those 2 Sailor Moons, and in his mind, that's Sailor Moon. All right? When he thinks of Sailor Moon, he thinks of the Deke one, the Cloverway one. And nowadays, a lot of folks out there might look at the Viz one and say that that's the one that everyone should follow. And yeah, at the end of the day, he need be not so much. He does got the books. He has read the books. You want to say some now? Oh yeah, you're right, Sailor Moon. At the end of the day, the funny books, the drawing books, whatever you want to call them, their take on Sailor Moon is a little unlike. Yeah, and both Hearst 1, 2, and 3, and Forever and Stars follow how the books handled things. All right? So at the end of the day, it has to do with whatever offshoot of Sailor Moon you're dealing with. And if you say he doesn't know enough, then there's also the live show, PGSM. Now, then we got to get into the plays and the song plays out there, because they got their own thing that is law. But someone says, oh, you don't know as much about Sailor Moon as I do, as he does, as anyone else does. That need be not true anymore. Duane has learned as many things about Sailor Moon as as everyone else has learned about it. Now, sadly, the nostalgia critic or the past scaver, he could be guilty of not knowing really anything about any film, show, or play that he gives his thoughts on. So yeah, you could guilt him for not knowing anything, or not taking the time to learn anything. But at the end of the day, Duane knows a lot about Sailor Moon. All right? Need be not as much as the Toei business knows, or Aldeling Niall Golding's business knows, that's true. But he knows as much about it as any other Sailor Moon follower out there does. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, his love for Sailor Moon, or I should say like for Sailor Moon, because everyone should really put God and Jesus first, his liking for Sailor Moon is as good as anyone else. And some folks out there still like to shame folks for either liking the Deke Sailor Moon or the Cloverway Sailor Moon, and calling them by the borrowed names, instead of calling them by the Latinist, Frenchist, Spanish, Hebrewish, Farsius, or borrowed names, or I guess Blacklandish borrowed names, instead of calling them by their Hellenish borrowed names, So, yeah. So yes, Duane does know as much about Sailor Moon as the next fellow knows about Sailor Moon. Now, we gotta go now. Hope you like this film, and see us later.